Hey, Strategy Simplified. If you're active duty military or a medical student, this episode is for you. Today we have a special consulting news podcast where we'll share and discuss upcoming opportunities for two non-traditional candidate groups: transitioning military service members and medical students looking to break into consulting. Both of the programs in today's show have application deadlines coming up in November of 2022. After we share about the programs, we'll share how to set yourself up for success in the application process. Let's get started. Hey, Strategy Simplified, it's Japheth, and I'm really excited for today's episode because we're talking about something that we don't talk about a lot. And so how we're going to structure this is, first, we'll talk about the McKinsey Military Fellowship. Next, we'll talk about opportunities for medical students at BCG. And finally, we'll talk about how to set yourself up for application success. First, McKinsey. So this is just hot off the press, just launched. This is a 10-week fellowship for active duty service members looking to transition into the civilian workforce. You heard that right. This is for military folks looking to come out of the military and move into management consulting. So McKinsey calls this a fellowship, but what it is essentially just an internship. It's 10 weeks long, and you'll work on consulting projects kind of like you would if you were a business analyst intern. So you'll work in teams of 3 to 5, you'll perform analysis, you'll interact with clients, you'll develop recommendations, and you'll travel when needed. Note, you will receive a basic consulting skills training to set you up for success for the McKinsey Military Fellowship. So McKinsey doesn't explicitly say this, but we expect this to be an interview for a full-time role at the firm. If you perform well in the fellowship, you'll be invited back for a full-time position. If you don't, well, you know how that goes. To be eligible for the McKinsey Military Fellowship, you must have an EAS date, that's end of active service date, between May and August of 2023. In addition, you'll need to have a bachelor's, master's, PhD, or MBA degree, and this is important, you'll need approval for your unit commander to participate in the full program for the full duration of the 10 weeks. And finally, you'll need availability to participate starting March 6th, 2023. Again, I'll say that date. March 6th, 2023 is when you'll need to be available for the McKinsey Military Fellowship. So we highly encourage you to apply to this new program by McKinsey if you're at all interested in strategy consulting and just want to try it out, see if it's right for you, and also develop something that will look good on your resume, if you decide that consulting isn't right for you in your transition into the civilian workforce. The deadline to apply for this program is November 14th, 2022. If you're listening to this when the episode is released, that means you have about a week to get your application materials together, which we'll talk about in a second. But the link is in the show notes to learn more and apply to the McKinsey Military Fellowship. Next, we're talking to you medical students or MDs. So BCG has two programs for you. One is a 10-week MD internship. The second is what they're calling an MD Scholar program. So we'll tackle the first one first, the MD internship. So this is for medical students graduating in 2024. It's again a 10-week internship where you'll do all the work of a consultant intern. Do well, and you may be invited to interview for a full-time role upon graduation the following year. Now note, BCG does limit this to just a few offices, specifically Houston, Miami, Atlanta, and Denver. So if you are in one of those cities or are willing to relocate, then you might be a good fit for the MD internship. So applications for the internship are on a rolling basis as BCG needs to fill spots. But the next deadline is on November 28th, 2022. So get your application ready, and we'll talk about that process in just a second. But the link is in the show notes to learn more about BCG's MD internship. We'll be right back after this quick message from our sponsor.
Hey, Strategy Simplified listeners. Did you know that today is a great day to start your own podcast? Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it would be fun to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. And Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. It's what I and the team here at Management Consulted use for Strategy Simplified. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. Podcasting isn't difficult when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. And as a special bonus, Buzzsprout is offering a $20 Amazon gift card sent to you after your second paid invoice. Sign up today for a Buzzsprout account through the link in the show notes.
Next up is something that I'm excited about. It's BCG's MD Scholars Program. So I'll give you the highlights of what this program is all about. It's either a 1 or 2 year program, and if you complete 1 year of it, BCG will pay for 1 year of your medical school tuition. That's pretty awesome. If you complete 2 years of it, which is the max you can, BCG will again pay for 1 year of tuition, and you'll get 6 months of tenure credit when you return to BCG, meaning that the timeline for your first promotion upon returning to the firm will be accelerated by 6 months. And yes, both of these tuition grants and the tenure credit are contingent on your promise to return to BCG after completing the MD Scholar Program. So when you join the MD Scholar Program, you'll work in BCG's healthcare practice, functioning as a consultant. So again, you'll do all the work of a consultant. You'll be staffed on teams, traveling to client sites, performing research and analysis, developing hypotheses, testing them, presenting to clients, etc. The program includes some very robust training, specifically the Business Essentials program, which is specific to advanced degree candidates. This will give you the foundational consulting toolkit. And BCG even goes so far as to call it a mini MBA. So does it live up to the hype? We'll see. In addition to this training, you'll be paired with a mentor who will be a senior consultant. You'll be paired up with them right at the start of the program to guide you through it and answer all the questions you may have as you begin your journey into consulting. The MD Scholar Program is open to current third year or rising fourth year medical students, and it's only available to those in the United States. Currently, the program is not open to anybody outside of the US. Applications for the Scholars Program are rolling once again, but most scholars begin in February or March following the major clinical year and board exams. So BCG says that it's best to apply by the end of the year. If you're listening to this in November or December, that means the time is now to start working on your application documents. The link is in the show notes to learn more and to apply to the BCG MD Scholars Program. Speaking of applications, let's move on to the third part of today's show, the application. So McKinsey requires just a resume, no cover letter, but BCG requires a resume and a cover letter for both programs. In addition, for BCG, you'll be asked to play the Pymetrics games, which is an assessment designed to test your skills. See the link in the show notes for tips on how to set yourself up for success in the BCG Pymetrics games. Okay, so as we wrap up today, I'm going to give you some really important tips for your resume specifically. There are 2 critical elements that any consulting resume has. That is, it highlights your transferable skills, which I'll talk about in a sec, and the impact you've driven throughout your academic, professional, or leadership experience. So the important transferable skills to highlight, these are skills that all consultants possess. Most of them build them over time, but you must possess at least part of these skills before you can think of applying to a prestigious firm like BCG. So these transferable skills include performing research and analysis, managing projects, managing clients, presenting to senior stakeholders, working in teams, solving problems, etc. You get the point. The second thing that firms are looking for on your resume is impact. So how have you made a difference in your previous experience? And in this case, whether that's in the military, in medical school, in internships you've had, previous work experiences, etc. It's really important to use metrics to showcase how you've made a difference. So have you helped increase revenue, reduce costs, increase efficiency? Has your work led to a report being published? And it's fine to use estimates here, but you get it. Consultants think in numbers, and in addition, numbers pop out on your resume. If this just isn't making sense to you, or you just like some expert help, you can work with our team at Management Consulted on our resume and or cover letter edit. So there's a link in the show notes that will take you to that package. You can purchase it, and then we'll work with you over 2 rounds to not just review your documents, but to actually go into your Word doc and edit them, completely transforming your docs and consultifying your experience for BCG, for McKinsey, for whatever firm you're targeting. We'd love to work with you to help you put your best foot forward in your application. Best of luck. Thanks for listening to another episode of Strategy Simplified. Once again, the application deadlines for the programs mentioned in the show today are November 14th for the McKinsey Military Fellowship and November 28th for the BCG MD Internship. Need a custom resume or cover letter edit? The link to purchase that is in the show notes. If you're not already, make sure you join our email list to be the first to be notified about new programs like the ones discussed in today's podcast. In addition, you'll be alerted about upcoming events that we put on, important application deadlines, and much more. We'll see you on another podcast soon.